Hey everybody, my name is Scott. I'm with the Arizona Hot Tub Factory and they call me the Spa Man. Today I'm working on a Jacuzzi J325. It's a 2006 model that, once again, has a flow issue. It's shooting an FL-1 and then the temperature and then the FL-1, and it's displaying that on the top side control. Generally speaking, what that means is it's either A, it'll be the flow switch, which is right here, or it'll mean B, it is the circulation pump, which is back here. As you can tell, there's a lot of water on the ground around that circulation pump. You can see how the wood is dry right here, but if you look back here, you can see how it's all wet. You can see all the rust and stuff like that and all the contaminants. So that tells me that that pump isn't working. Plus, I did verify the pump is not working. So what we're going to do is go ahead and change out this pump, and then we're going to change out this flow switch, and I'll probably go ahead and change out the heat sensor. Now the heat sensor is located in the skimmer bucket, which basically on a jacuzzi, this is where your filters are. And right down here, you can see this little silver thing right here. That's one of your heat sensors. So a lot of times I'll go ahead and replace this one because it's a cheap fix and it's quick. I've got the tub empty. I can take care of it all at the same time. So we're gonna go ahead and get this video rolling and we'll show you how we go about doing this. Stick around. This is probably going to be educational as well as I try to make it fun, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, before you start your job, you're going to need a couple tools. You're going to need a pair of pliers. I have one set here, and then I've got a set that's a little bit bigger. You will need a common screwdriver. I got a little bit smaller common screwdriver, and then I got a real little screwdriver, kind of like what they use for eyeglasses. I'll show you what that's used for later. I also have a pair of vice grips and a pair of wire cutters. Now, this is probably one of the most important tools that I use when doing changes like this. It's a heat gun. This is a Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee because it's a good product, but anyways, any heat gun will work. You can even use a hair dryer. What you want to use the heat gun for is heating up the tubing to make it pliable, and I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. Okay, now, on this flow switch, you've got to take this hose clamp off here, you got to take this one off here, and you got to take this one off here. And what I do is you squeeze these with the pliers, slide them over. Okay, really simple. But the problem is these tubes, after being 10 years old, are stiff. They're rigid. They're not pliable anymore. Well, you can heat this up with a heat gun, and it becomes real squishy and pliable, and you can slide it away and stuff. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you how I do that here in a second. But anyways, you're going to go ahead and slide this over, slide that over, slide that over. Over here is where the wire was connected to, which it's right here on the board, and it does say right next to it and stuff, flow switch, so you'll know exactly where it goes. And it comes through the hole right here on the side. So anyways, I'll go ahead and set up my camera and I'll show you how I do this. Okay, this is all pretty simple. First thing you're gonna do, take your clamp, squeeze it with a pair of pliers, and then just move it over. Put it right over there. Nothing fancy. Same thing with this one. Use a little bit smaller pair. Just put your clamp up there. So you just get it out of the way. And then with this one, same thing. You're just going to grab onto this, just like you did the other one. Sometimes because of where they're at with the 2x4, they get a little tricky, meaning this 2x4. I'm going to move that one over just a little bit more. Okay, get that one out of the way. You guys got the idea. Now we're going to take the heat gun. Pretty simple. Doesn't matter which one you start with. You just want to make it so it's not so stiff. So sometimes it'll take a minute or so. I'm going to go ahead and shut the video off. When I get it nice and pliable, I'll show you. Okay, I've already got this one nice and warmed up. And see, I can squeeze it now. See, now it just starts turning. See, it'll slide right off there. No problem. And stuff. But up here, it's really stiff. Down here, it's nice and pliable. Okay, now you just go on and do the rest of them. Pretty simple. Okay, I got this one all nice and warmed up now. Grab onto it with a pair of pliers. Just going to turn around and twist it a little bit. See, it comes off pretty simple. and then you're just gonna pull it right off. See, look how easy that works. Do this last one up. This last one is twisting already. The rubber's just not pliable yet. And like I said, you can do this with a hair dryer, a heat gun. I like the Milwaukee heat guns. I've tried a couple from Harbor Freight. They just don't get hot enough, quick enough for me. So, and I really like these. These are under $100. So, anyways, that should do it. And watch, that sucker will it'll slide right out of there. Look at that, just slides right out of there. Okay, where's the new one? Now on your new flow switch, it's pretty simple. Right here, you got an arrow, flow. The flow's gotta go that way. So this is pretty simple to figure out which way it goes. You just repeat the process. Push that in there just like that. So usually the tubes are still pliable enough to where you can make it work. Just like that. And this goes down in. Come on, baby. Ah. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Slide your hose clamps over. It just doesn't get any easier than this. Just want to get it in the right spot. Okay, that's all there is to it. Now that's replaced. Now we're going to go down and we're going to replace the, what do you call it, the circulation pump. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to use a heat gun. We're going to pull the wires out and pretty much go from there. Show you how that's done next. Like in all the rest of the videos I've shown everybody, I always tell everybody when you get lost, go to the schematics on the back of the pack. The pack sits right here. This is where your board is. This is where all your wires come in. This is the back door. You flip it over, you got a schematics. Okay, we're looking for the circulation pump. Circulation pump. Circulation pump. Second one down. So first one's the light. Second one's your circulation pump. And it will actually say that right on the board. So if you come in here and look, right there is where your circulation pump goes. I've already disconnected it because I want you to be able to read it and stuff. So anyways, up above it is the ozone, down here is the circulation pump. Okay, so what you got to do is detach those wires. That'll be a ground plus two hot wires, because this is a 220 volt system. So both the white and the black are hot. Okay, so you detach those first. Now, most circulation pumps in pretty much every jacuzzi I can think of off the top of my head, especially the J series, all are done the same way. They're behind the pack. This is your pack and stuff like that. So anyways, your circulation pump is usually located behind the pack. I'll show you that here in a second. And if you look right here, this is where it's hooked up to. And it actually says circulation pump. And then you'll have a ground wire down here. So I've already went and pulled it out, and this is kind of what it looks like. You have a ground wire right here, and then you have a black and a white. I put the black on top, the white below, and then you hook your ground here. So anyways, if you look right on your board, it'll say circulation pump. Okay, what I did is I went and I stuck my light back here so you can see it really good. Now this is your pack. If you go to the right side of the pack, because it's almost impossible to get from the left side because of the motor, there's your circulation pump. Now, with the circulation pump, you're going to have to take this hose clamp off. You're going to take this hose clamp off. There's also might be a screw right here. It's a Phillips screw, which is sometimes a real booger to get out of there. Or you can turn around and take this one off. There'll usually be one here, and there'll be one on the other side. So anyways, take this one off first, and you'll take this one off. You'll unscrew that somehow, and then you'll pull your pump out. We'll put the new pump in. This is not a hard fix. It doesn't take long. Probably takes 10-15 minutes to do it. Before we start, I'm going to go ahead and grab my vacuum. I'm going to clean up everything. You can kind of see the remnants of some rodents that have gotten in here and stuff, which is pretty common in this part of the valley in Arizona. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get this going, and I'll show you how we remove and replace it. Like in every video I do, you're going to need some tools. So, this one is always tough to get to. You got to turn this hose clamp. Man, it's just in a tight area. Whoever put this on really sucks, because they put it on to make it about as hard as they can to get it out. What I might do is disconnect it from here first, and then I can turn, once I get the pump out, I can turn it stuff. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take this one, squeeze that, and turn that a little bit. Come on, baby. As you can see, sometimes even the spa man has a hard time. There we go. Done. Now what I'll do is I'll heat this up with a heat gun, just like in every other video I do. Once it, because see right now I can't squeeze it at all. But once it becomes pliable, I'll be able to squeeze that and do exactly what I need to do. See, it's already becoming pliable. Pull that out. Now watch. See? Comes out of there. No problem. Now you might get a little bit of water. Okay. Not a big deal. Alright, I got this one off right here. Now I've got to take this one off after I get the pump out. But I still got to get this one off, and then I still got to get the 2 screws off. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, this one we got to twist this a little bit so we can get it out of there. Okay, I did get the hose clamp moved over right here. I got to get this one out, right, this little screw out right here, which it's not in very tight. Just use a little bitty screwdriver right here. I can get that out of there. Sometimes it's hard to get a cordless in here. There's one screw. I know there's one on the other. Right there. I don't know why they put these pumps in such hard places to get to. Believe me, if they're doing it to keep me in business, I wish they'd put them in an easier spot so that the homeowner's able to take care of it. But if not, I'm more than happy to come out and do it. Okay, now that pump is nice and good. Okay, we're working over here. That's where the circulation pump is. If you go to the other side of the pack, right here is the ground lug and stuff. And right here is the ground wire. This copper wire right here, and this runs to the circulation pump back there. That's so that the circulation pump is grounded also. So we're going to detach this, and that way when we pull that out, we pull it all out in one unit. Okay. Okay, just like with every other one, you heat up the hose. Now this hose, what it does is, this is the hose that actually pushes the water into the heater. So it's a small hose. I might go ahead and find another piece and put a brand new piece in there, just in case. See if I got any. Got that one a little toasty. Oh yeah, nice and pliable. Watch how easy it's gonna pull out of there. There we go. Let's grab onto the pump. Part of it, the problem is the bracket's in the way too. This bracket is all rusted out. So I'm going to get in there with a little screwdriver again. And it's usually only one screw that holds this particular bracket down. I will not be putting a screw back in place. There is no reason for it and stuff. So it's all rusted out. and I can grab onto that with a pair of pliers. Every one I've ever done is always rusted out the same way. Ah, somebody did go and put a screw way in the back. Wow. They suck. There we go. Pump out. All the wires are all tangled around everything. Okay, pumps out. Well, if you look at the pump, it's seen better days. You can see where it's all leaking right here. You can see all the calcium and all the crap underneath it and stuff like that. So yeah, this pump's seen better days. So we'll go ahead and replace it. There's where your ground wire hooks up, so make sure you reattach your new ground wire when you do your pump. Okay? Okay, if you look way in there on this bracket, they actually did put a screw way in there. I have to be honest, it's very rare I've seen this. I haven't seen somebody that puts the screw on the other side in a long time. That is somebody at the Jacuzzi factory that is doing their job to make mine and yours harder. So anyways, I'll go ahead and take that one out and move on to the next part of this. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll open up the circulation pump now. Go ahead and open up the circulation pump now. Pretty much the same unit I just replaced. It's got the steel frame on it. Stuff. Pretty simple. Water comes in, water comes out. Pretty simple little unit. It'll have all the connections right on it for you, where you got your black wire, your white wire, and your green wire. Your ground will go right here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that all hooked in. I did find a piece of tubing in my entourage of parts, so I'm going to go ahead and replace this one with a new piece of tubing. Went ahead and put the tube right here for the water comes through here, it goes around and it comes out this tube. So I went and I cut one exactly the same size, put that one on there, and then I went and I cut one here. That way it'll be a little bit more pliable when I go to put it back together. Makes it a little easier on me. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that put into place and get this sucker all hooked up. Okay, I put the clamp back on here. I put our new hose here, put a clamp here. I did end up putting a screw down here just to hold it in place. I hate putting those screws in because they're a pain in the butt. They really don't do anything, but I thought, I'll put it in there anyway just to make sure I do it right. I put a hose clamp here with a brand new clear piece here, put a hose clamp here, and then wrapped it around. Also, as you can see, way in the back, I did hook up the ground wire way in the back. Okay, now we'll come over here to the other side. I ran my ground to right here. I hooked in my wires. This hooks up to the, to the circulation pump. And as you can see, I wrapped all the wires really nice, and I used a zip tie. Came in here. Here's my two black wires. They come all the way up here, and they hook, put the black on top, the white on the bottom. Then I reconnected my pump because I had to take off the pump wires. And then all that's done. Now over here on this side, this is where the, the flow switch will hook in. So, well, we've now hooked up the wires from the flow switch all the way down, and we've got them hooked up right here. We've hooked up our other switches here, and we plugged everything in. We're going to go ahead and fill this bad boy up with water and see if we fixed our problem, which I'm 100% sure we have. Stick around and see what your thoughts are. Right now we're transferring the water out of this tub that I just finished with into the tub that we just got through working on. And then we'll wire this one up and fire it and see how it works. Hope this helps everybody out. This is, I think, going to be probably one of the last videos I'm going to do on recirculation pumps and heat sensors and changing out flow switches. I think I've done now a half dozen of them, and hopefully I've covered everything I can cover with those three items and an FL-1 or FL-2 flow switches that go faulty. So we're going to get this one fired up and see if we fixed our problem. Okay, I've got the hot tub completely filled up with water. Got it a little bit high, but that's okay. For these testing purposes, that'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera up right here. Got a table that I normally set it on, and I'm going to go turn the breaker on. Okay, breaker is on. We are reading 62. FL-1 is flashing. You can see the bubbles just starting to appear in the hot tub. We're at 62. And as you can tell by looking at the flow switch, everything is working. The red light came on, which means we are heating. We got the hot tub set on. We're going to set it on 100 degrees. Red light's on and we're good to go. Well, I hope that helped everybody out with either a recirculating pump or a flow switch issue. That's usually what FL-1 means. It's one or the other. Pretty simple to do. Doesn't take that long. Video probably took me an hour to do just because of what I was trying to show everybody. But the actual time that it takes me to actually change one out in the field or here in the shop, it's about 10 or 15 minutes. So, and that's after I get the front panel off. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and this is the last video for 2019. I just did this one right before New Year's, so I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and in 2020, I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews, and I'll be doing also more how-tos. So we've got several hot tubs we're going to start reviewing, and I'll see you guys in 2020. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. I want to thank everybody for all the likes and all the shares. I really appreciate it. With that, I'm going to let you guys go, and remember, it's just a hot tub in the backyard full of water blowing bubbles. Don't go crazy. Happy New Year, everybody.